Pashaparo, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay coming back for you with another update from today. Magic mushrooms, PTSD, and MYCOF. Let's get to it. So here is an article. Post-traumatic stress disorder treatment with psychedelic drugs. It's on the table. So objectives, right? Overview of PTSD. All right. After a person experiences a traumatic, life-threatening event such as natural disaster, a car accident, military combat, your job, right? We did a video on PTSD. So there's a lot of ways that they're not talking about that you can actually have the symptoms of PTSD. So while it is typical to have anxiety about the traumatic events weeks or months after it happens, people with PTSD find it difficult to perform daily functions for an extended period of time. Sometimes treatment can cure PTSD, while other times it simply goes away on its own. So they give you some treatment types here. And they get into talking about psilocin, right, from the mushrooms. And there are reasons why psilocybin could be a safe and effective treatment for PTSD. And so it goes over there. Of course, it's got benefits that they found. So supporters of using psychedelic drugs, right, help patients lessen their anxiety, feel strongly that these drugs should be available in a safe and supportive medical setting. So in Dr. Ross's study, right, the majority of patients reported having a positive experience that helped them feel less afraid. If these drugs can have such a success rate, then what could possibly be the reason for them not being legal? And this is just a question in the article here. So drugs can either be chemically or psychologically addictive. Continuing with this article here, when the cells in a person's body cannot function without a certain drug, that person is chemically addicted to the drug. In contrast, when someone is psychologically addicted to the drug, they think that they may desperately need it, but their body doesn't actually physically need it to function. So psilocybin is not chemically addictive, their claim is, and like other drugs such as nicotine, and is not known for any strong negative effects. So utilitarianism is a doctrine used in ethics it says that an action is right insofar as it promotes happiness, and that the greatest happiness of the greatest number should be the guiding principle of conduct. Sounds like diplomacy or democracy, excuse me. So, all right. Now the risk, or the strongest argument against the use of psilocybin for PTSD, is the chance of a bad trip. So, a scary or anxiety-inducing experience when a patient feels the psychoactive effects of the drug. And I got a stock for you here. It's one that I mentioned a while back. Really great that I changed like my personal setting so that I can actually access this stock now. And I got in earlier this week, and it's been a great ride so far. So today alone, it's up 18, almost 19%. So I'm going to bring this to you. I'm just giving you the background on it, the prereqs, and then you can be entertained, because it's for entertainment purposes. Again, as you guys know, I am not a professional. This is not advice. This is solely for your entertainment and enjoyment. Okay? So, let's see here. Back to the article. So basically, the strongest argument, or the worst side effect they're saying, is a bad trip. Now, what is a bad trip? It's a scary or anxiety-induced experience where the patient feels the psychoactive effects of the drug. This usually happens when the patient feels unsafe or uncomfortable in some way. A bad trip has the potential to mentally scar the individual who experiences it. So, side effects, the worst side effect is a bad trip, leaving you mentally scarred. You were trying to get rid of some mental scars. So, I guess that's a wash. Like, worst thing that can happen to you is that you still be mentally scarred. But that's just a little humor. Now, I think they're doing a lot of testing with this, and it's making a lot of progress. And if you go back to some of our earlier conversations, right, about some things, Tonics, Trixie, I think it was one of them too, had a lot of people were focusing on the COVID developments. I was bringing them to the table for you guys to look into the PTSD pipelines they have. So the reason is because if never before, right, or I'll just say that like post-traumatic stress disorder and depression are, if not already, which we went over, check out the videos on YNet 7. Go ahead and subscribe while you're at it. Hit the like button, notification, and share this with someone that you know might either be interested in the medical uses of magic mushrooms or just stocks, or any other reason why they may be interested in this. The mountains in the background out the window of the train. So what I'm getting at is, we talked about this being PTSD and depression being a skyrocketing situation because of now the post, or eventually will be, hope, fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever it is for you, moving into the post medical lockdowns anyway, right? And during that period of time, a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, suffered through depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, especially if they had their loved ones, friends and family close to them, succumb to the climate of the day that has scarred them most likely, and it has effects whether they are honest with themselves about it or not. So a huge market in the upcoming months is going to be treating depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, because it's going to be expanded from your normal applications like most people would think, like military or stuff like that, and it's bleeding over now. We done went into in another video. We got videos. YNet 7. We doing it for y'all. Go ahead, free of charge. Go ahead. All you gotta do is watch and share, subscribe, hit the notification bell all day long. That's easy for you. Click, 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 click. You know what I'm saying? We put a lot of work and research in here to give you accurate information. And if you appreciate what we're doing, then help the channel get out to more people. So what I'm getting at is, we covered in other videos how this is becoming its own epidemic, really, right? And there's a few companies out there that are actually that are actually trying to tackle this opportunity. All right. So what is the let's go over to what it is real quick that we're talking about here at the end of the day. We're talking about psilocybin and mushrooms, and this, hence the magic mushroom here. But let's, commonly known as magic mushrooms, mushrooms or shrooms, are a polyphyletic informal group of fungi. And then here go, so it contains this, which is psilocybin, which turns into this upon ingestion. And right, but anyway, here's what some of the mushrooms look like. Okay. Take a look at these real quick. If you're familiar with this sort of stuff, I mean, you may be already in the know. All right. Now this company is out of Canada, so they're across the border. And if you got it in earlier in the week, you would have been in the low 20s, in the mid to low 20-cent range a share. So it's a very accessible stock, and it's and the volume today was over 2.5 million shares traded, and we're up 18.8% on just today. So if you go back to those that's been following us, and I know I'm like kind of not using the big board pep, but when I put it in the stock side, you guys know what it is. This big board pep on the stocks, and I'll work in the logo later on. But right now, I'm just getting back into it since I jumped out for the 10-year bond yield rise. So got back in, watched it last week, got back in this week, and things that I've been watching they're moving now. We'll see how the trend continues, but we got a nice upward climb here from the 18th. This news came out. We're gonna go into what's going on with them. They had a huge month, and I'm gonna share that with you here, and we'll continue. So if we go down here, right, all of these boxes are news basically for not just 2021, but the month of June by itself. So all the way down to here. So we'll just cover these real quick, give you an idea of this opportunity, because one of these joints I remember telling you about this company, and I think I touched on it a little bit, but maybe I didn't. But I know I mentioned it in another video, and at the time I wasn't able to access this stock. So this is great that stocks like these are now available to me. So, and if you're in a position where there's stuff that you want to get into, look at your current situation and see what you have to do to make a change. Na 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 na. All right, man in the mirror. All right, so here we go. PTSD and research. So Mydecine COO talks psychedelics, talks about addressable market for PTSD. That was June 3rd. So they getting out there, they networking as a company as a whole, because I think they know of course they know what's great happening, but they're getting everything together. So Mydecine to participate in H.C. Wainwright psychedelics, right, in psychiatry and beyond conference. That was the 3rd. Now, Mydecine discovers over 40 groundbreaking potential pharmacological active novel compounds in mushrooms. So basically, they got 40 different plugs for, and they're all new, and now they can see what they can do with them. So 40 different things. If each one of them do a couple things a pop or one thing a pop, that alone is huge. And then sometime, future. So now that was the 8th. So then on the 11th, here we go, some more news from them. And this is probably the busiest news I've seen, news releases I've seen with any substance for one company in a single month since I've been doing this. I don't know. Let me know if you guys other stocks that are more news notable, even from themselves. But look, check this out. June 11th, getting people to help change, help changes everything. So technical director helps talks, Mindly app launching soon. All right. So they got an app, MindLeap app launching soon. So Innovations Group, now moving to the 16th, launches AI-assisted drug discovery program. So this program will use artificial intelligence and machine learning to inform its drug discovery process, right? So Innovations, now still on the 16th, kickoff machine learning. Okay, that's a repeat. We'll just call it a repeat. So on the 17th, psychedelic-related drugs to tackle the mental health crisis. The 4 psychedelic drugs can eliminate cardiovascular risk issues and significantly reduce the half-life to less than 2 hours. So now they're looking at, there's some conversation here dealing with cardiovascular. So now we're moving beyond PTSD and depression, etc. So now we get into the 22nd, a little closer. Roth Capital Partners initiates coverage on Mydecine. So this is a meeting coming up the 28th at 11 a.m. I will try to be on the ear with that and get the full scoop. And they're going to be talking about some other psychedelic drug companies as well. So I definitely want to hear what they have to say. And then now, Roth initiates coverage on Mydecine Innovations with a 9x price target, which if they're at 33 cents today, then you're talking $2.50 to $3, $2.70, $2.80, at some point in the future. But you know how these things move. They go up, they go down, they go left, they go right. So this, I think, long term is crazy endless potential. I mean, this right here is probably gonna be like the Neo before $58. Like that whole buzz all the way up to $58 of the in my opinion, of the PTSD world, maybe even the medical application development, new drug type stuff soon, because this has been untouched pretty much up until now. They're doing all this stuff to prove what they need to prove so that these can be accessed as treatments for loads of things. So going to the 23rd, we have the 3-part series powered by Mydecine. So live virtual events provide free psychedelic education to all psychedelic wellness for everyone. Mydecine to participate in the Roth virtual. So that's, like I said, the 28th. So see if you can be available for that. I will be there in through technology. So Mydecine CEO Josh Bark will participate in the Roth and company and speak on the panel titled Next Wave of Psychedelic Drug Developers, and I most definitely want to know what they have to say. Now, going here, back to the top, we have Mydecine Innovation Group's stock sees double-digit rally, so that was earlier this week. The Mydecine stock was in the news after Roth Capital Partners started covering the stock and gave it a buy rating. So I think that's great, because I remember it was probably late last year when I brought this to you guys. So to see this movement is awesome. It's always the perfect day. Do your research. This is not advice. Make your own decision and see if you want to get into this. It is a over-the-counter stock, so the risk is far greater. And generally speaking, this company, this outfit is in its infancy. So, but it's a huge opportunity to help people, barring a bad trip or two. And I think it's a great push in technology using natural remedies as much as possible. So it has some appeal to it for a lot of different reasons. Very minor side effects, I guess you could call it. And it's totally new, like, to the market, period. So there's a lot of upside potential. And if you're getting in at below 50%, like, look at how we did bingo. You know what I mean? Like, we took bingo at 50 cents and we ran it all the way to $10, give or take, probably, so $5. I know we took it all the way to $5-6, and then we were in and out, got some more between 9 and 10. So huge opportunity here. Who you're talking to is Pasha. So I'm not making any promises, but look into this right here, and the time is right now. So the 24th, Mydecine, yeah, select substance use disorder and smoking cessation for its psychologic module. So the MYCOF 004 is a patch delivered tryptamine compound, and its properties include short duration transdermal precision dosing and long term. So this is like a patch to try and get out of smoking. We could feel free to read more on that, and if you find anything really interesting, just throw it in the comments below for us all. So that was yesterday, and then today, so Mydecine to launch phase 2A clinical trial on psilocin assisted psychotherapy to treat PTSD in veterans. And I know they're saying in veterans, but once they prove it's effective in veterans, the governments already know, and the higher up medical world already know the ticking time bomb of depression outbreak and PTSD from workplaces and the climate of lockdown and all that stuff. So this can easily, become a normal offering for the general public at some point in the near future. And at the rally of noise that they're making in the last month, I think there could be a huge catalyst, as you see with the Roth mentioning coming up next week. Already had a huge impact just being involved in that. So Roth Virtual Healthcare Private Company Forum, if you want to register, there's the link. And like I said, we're up 18% of the day. And if you go back to, like I said, you could have got in low 20s. Let's go to the beginning of the week here, the 21st. So you can see a nice climb. Again, it's OT, over the counter, OTC. So it is a little bit more volatile. But if you, do your research and find out that you like this situation and you get in, it has increased risk, of course, because it's OTC. But I think at some point in the future, the question is always when, right? But there's going to be a huge push for this technology. And I think this company stands to gain a lot from it. So I'm glad that the climate for me personally was changed, and I now can take advantage of this opportunity, being in this stock. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below. Pasha Paro, YNet7, and Dare. We got back into Dare because Dare, so we got back into it. It started moving. Always the perfect day. I appreciate the timing in life. So it was up like 15, 16, 17, 18% today too. So it had a good day today between Dare, MYCOF, and what was it? The other one. Oh yeah. ASPS. Altisource was at 15. So pretty good day. All right. Pasha Paro, YNet7, thank you for tuning. The replay.